I don't know, like, she's out there. You're the Florida version of Sex in the City, JD.
That's when I was smoking my cigars.
Don't be an asshole today.
There we go, dancing again. How is everything over on the other side of the pond today?
But you know what? Not bad. Did a little Costco run, so I kind of felt like I was being American.
Oh, nice. You
And I
have
wore
Costco.
this
More American?
American baseball hat and a buffalo sweatshirt. I mean, honestly.
Is it cold there still?
Yeah. It was 26 last night.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Freaking cold. Honestly. And I felt like it took like all day to warm up the house, even though it was super sunny. You know,
Yeah.
well, the thing of it is it's really foggy in the morning, and like you can't. For me, it's like I can't tell. Is it my eyes? Am I not seeing right? You know, you step outside and everything is just like it's foggy, and it feels like cold on you. On like you can touch the cold. You know, it's really weird.
Yeah, yeah.
But then by about like I don't even know, like 11 or so,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it burns off and it's super sunny, but it's not warm. It's just deceiving, you know. Like, run out there to take some trash out or run out to the shed for something or, you know, and it's just like, whoa, what? Man.
That's the typical London fog, right? The raincoats, the boots, the umbrella.
I mean, yeah, I get it. It doesn't feel like it when it's like winter. It just feels like a cold fog. Like, because we haven't had
Yeah.
no rain, like at all. It's just everything is a bit frozen. So then when the sun hits it, it melts and everything is wet, you know?
Oh,
It
yeah,
looks like it's
yeah.
rain.
Slushy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just burns off like in a matter of an hour or so. Like the steam coming off my shed roof because the sun pounds on it and it's frozen. And when the sun starts pounding on it, the steam rises off and it adds to the fog. So yeah, it's
Right.
a little bit weird, you know, but you know,
So how long does it stay cold there? Like how many more months? Because I want to come when it's still kind of chilly. I really want to visit London and Paris soon. And
well, you better hurry up because
I know.
by April it's springtime, you know.
Before you know it, like once the new year hits, it's like you're already into it 4 months, and it's like, where's the year going?
Yeah, where's the year gone already? Yep. I know. Cracks me up. Like I always go, oh my God, it's been what a year, man. And it's like, it's only like the first week of February. Like
I might have to do springtime in London. That would be fun. Maybe I'll do that.
Yep, you gotta get it knocked out. You gotta get it sorted, or then wait till October, if not.
Yep. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Definitely. Right.
Yeah. Even spring gets a little like I remember one year we went to the annual cow pie festival, which I love. It's just this little local thing, and it's got vendors that make chutneys and they got cheeses available, and there's all kinds of farm animals everywhere. They have like a tractor show, they have motorcycles, they have old-timey cars, they have axes.
Nice.
It's just like you know, every year they add something to it, but it's local and it's fun. But one year we went, and it's always like around mid it's either the second or third week end of May. And
yeah,
we went and we actually got sunburned.
Oh,
like in May. It was like oh my God, how did that happen? And then another year we went and it was freezing. So May is kind of the tell-all, you know, pretty much you're not going to get any more like, you know, cold snaps, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's so, yeah, I don't know. It's a tough choice. You either come like late September, October, November, and you know that it's going to be chilly, but
Right.
the leaves are changing and it's pretty, it's interesting. And, October was like, to me, the best month
Me too. Yeah,
this
that's my
year.
favorite month.
Yeah.
Yeah,
October
because
was killer.
it's not too cold, but it's starting, the weather's changing. I mean, not here, but even
Right.
here, it gets a
Right.
little chillier. Like
Right.
this week we had, not cold at all, but like not so hot. Like,
That's what my mom said. It
like,
was like 77.
yeah, I was gonna say low 80s, high 70s, which is nice. So
Yeah. That's it. That feels like a change, doesn't it?
Mhm. It sure does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it's been
So
88. Yeah. It's crazy. But I had um a Costco run this morning and then did a little bit of stuff. And then, I ordered a couple of PlayStation games. I ordered the Winter Olympics and I thought, well,
Oh,
this would be fun. It'll make
yeah.
it feels like winter, I hated
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hated it. I hated it. It sucked. So that was like back to Grand Theft Auto. I bought the old timey Grand Theft Autos where it's the trilogy and you can play San Andreas, Vice City, or Grand Theft Auto 3, which were all games that I used to play, but on my iPad, because I didn't have
Oh,
a gaming system, so I used to play on my iPad. So
yeah. Yeah.
when you get to play it like on a big screen,
Oh,
on
yeah.
just feels different. So yeah, I spent a little bit of time doing that today. And then of course I was on nursing duties for my poor cat.
Aw,
Yeah,
how is Bruce
he's
doing?
he's still pretty snuggly. Like now his eyes are dripping. He just, like he'll be sound
Aw.
asleep and then all of a sudden he'll go, and it's like all
Oh.
this snot and his whole head is just so stuffy. So I feel really, really bad for him. This is the worst winter this poor cat has had.
Aw. You're a good mama,
Yeah, I gotta
taking such
keep
good
trying to
care
get,
of him.
he feels so lousy that he's not like really eating and he only drinks from faucets. So
Oh,
it's really hard to make sure that he's staying hydrated, so,
right, right.
I like every time I see him in the tub having a drink, like I take a picture, I can remember that what time he had a drink.
Right,
But
right.
he's got this powdered decongestant that goes into food. So,
Oh,
but he's not eating that much. So he doesn't want his regular food because I don't think that he can smell it really well.
oh,
So
yeah.
we've been giving him like a little bit of tuna and then adding a little bit of water and adding his powdered decongestant because that's odorless and tasteless. But they,
Yeah.
puts a little scoop into it to try and get it in him.
It's-
But there's times where he just doesn't really eat it all. So like I'm going, oh, he didn't really get a full,
Yeah.
full dose of what he's supposed to be having. So I know that he loves chicken. So I got a whole Costco chicken while I was there, cut that all up, and I gave him a little bit of chicken with a little bit of water and his decongestant. He had a little bit of that tonight. And then he had a drink. So he came finally, has been coming downstairs, but just once a day, like just once in the evenings. That's it.
Aw.
Checks out what's going on. He sits at the patio door. But yeah, it's just really hard to see your cat like not doing well. It's tough.
I remember when I had Lola, my dog, no matter what I did to disguise and camouflage a pill, even the tiniest of pills,
Yeah.
she would spit out, she would find it. I would have ketchup, I would use gravy, I would get the wet dog food, like whatever I could. I'd stick it in cheese, I'd stick it in a hot dog, and she would eat everything and spit the damn pill out. I would find
I'm gonna give you a hot tip on this because
it.
Bruce got to the point when he was on the daily steroid. I had
Mhm.
to, especially when Gemma was in Australia, because she's really good about somehow balancing it on her finger, holding his head,
Yeah.
putting his mouth and throwing it way back.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
I can't do that because
I couldn't,
I,
yeah.
I just can't. So what I had the pill pockets, and for like a week he did really, really good. Then he kind of
Right.
caught on that there was like something crunchy in it. So he
Yeah,
would eat
yeah.
the whole pocket and spit out the pills. So what I started doing was I would grab a little piece of kibble from his food and I
Uh-huh.
would break it up, and then I
Uh-huh.
would get the pill pocket, put the pill in it, squish it up, and then cover it in the nuggets from his food, the bits,
Right, right,
so that
right.
it was crunchy, and he didn't know that
Oh,
there was a
you didn't
pill in it.
realize.
Yeah, so I
We
totally
have to
faked them
outsmart
out.
them.
Totally faked them out, and it worked so good. I never had a problem after that. Just putting, just squeeze, just like, like busting a little piece of his like, cereal food and putting that in with the pill in the pill pocket. So he
Yeah,
could smell the food, think it was his own food. Yeah, and that worked like a charm, man. And I just felt like I won this game.
yeah.
I won this game. I totally beat him at his own game. I can't even tell you. I felt like I needed a trophy for that. You get so
Well,
worried about how to give them, meds. It's just like, oh my God. If they're not in the
oh
mood to eat,
yeah.
what do you do?
Just you
Yeah,
have to outsmart them. Well,
yeah. So,
speaking of trophies, did I tell you I finally got the trophy for Redneck Limousine, the Mark Award trophy? It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. They
well
spelled
done,
my
you.
name wrong. Thank you.
No.
Spelled my name wrong.
How
I'm
did they
like,
mess up JD Danner?
what's so hard? They wrote JD Janner. No one's ever made that mistake. I've gotten DJ Tanner from the show Full
Yeah.
House. JD
Oh,
Tanner.
Jay, that sucks,
And I'm
man.
like, So the thing is it's a plate. It's on a plate. So they had to reorder I'm not in control of this. That's the thing. The publishing company is, and
Yeah.
they're in Paris. So, but guess what? The trophies are made in Florida.
Oh,
And distribution companies in Boca, but
oh,
they're actually made, I think, in Jacksonville. So what I'm going to do, if nothing comes in the next, I'm going to call her and find out. If nothing comes in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to take it down to my local trophy store and have them just change the plate, and I'll pay for it and because I'm like, oh my God, like I wanted to put it on Facebook, make the whole thing, my
yeah,
social.
it was like such an honor, and then they had to flub up the name. You know
Yeah.
what? That just goes right back to like when John Travolta screwed up Idina Menzel's name, right?
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. It's crazy.
I just heard her
So
talk about that on an interview with Chris Wallace, and she said like, yeah, it was stunning at first, but then the amount of attention it got was just like great.
but what's funny? My mom, my sister and I always laugh, like, because through my career of, being the dreamer,
Girl,
I always get like this close to the name. Like, for example, what's his name? The one that's married to Faith Hill.
Tim McGraw.
Tim McGraw. Okay. Jim McGraw was inviting me to do jamborees in Delray or somewhere. So it was,
So
I
close.
was invited to, yeah, so close. I'm always like a letter away. I
Yeah.
played Lilish Fair, not Lilith Fair.
Right.
Well,
Well,
like 10 years ago, they did something. Were you guys at Lilish Fair up in Orlando? It was an all female music festival.
Familiar. Like I can't. It sounds familiar.
It
I
was
don't
in
remember. I don't remember.
actually it was in the Pulse. It was in the sister club to Pulse, but that was years before
Element.
that happened. And so it's just funny. So my life has always gone that it was like I'm one letter away from where I really want to be, or
Yeah.
who I want to be doing this with. And
It's
so
funny. Like you have to
makes
come to
perfect
terms with
sense.
that, don't you?
It makes perfect sense that, or I'd be giving directions to where we'd be playing, and I'd be like, well, you're going to walk down A1A and you're going to see a beautiful patio with lights, people sitting outside. Keep going, make a right at that place. And when you see the dumpsters from the Marriott, we're across from those dumpsters in the little German pub. It was funny. It was just always like the one letter away. So it didn't really surprise me that much that it was JD Janner written on the So I'll
You know
get that
what though?
fixed
It
though,
keeps
because
hope alive, doesn't it?
sure does. Yes. It
He's like,
keeps hope
it's
alive.
leading to something, you know, having all these stories is leading to, I could just see you sitting next to like Jimmy Kimmel and talking about these days. So
Yeah,
yeah, that works. That works.
I was in Lillish Fair.
That
But that was so
track.
funny because when that happened, my sister's like, wow, you got into Lilith Fair. I'm like, no,
Listen,
Lillish
close.
Fair.
Yeah, it's a knockoff. Yeah, it's like
It's
having a
the
knockoff
knockoff.
Rolex. Yeah, like
Perfect.
having a knockoff Rolex.
Yeah.
It's the same feeling, right? Same thing. That's
Yeah, I
amazing.
have the Bolex or something, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. Holy cow. You
the
know,
Rolex.
but, you know, it
But
makes me, I love talking to you because I'll be like, you want to do a podcast? I don't really have a guest or whatever. I'm not really feeling it. And you're like, oh no, I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna try and get this person. I'm gonna shoot for that person. I'm gonna try. And I'm like, oh, look at her go. Ever the optimist. But it's
ever
okay.
the
Like
optimist, right?
ever the optimist, but we've got some good folks coming up. Like I gotta say, we've
Oh,
got
yeah.
this girl Katrina, which I think this is really cool. She
Mhm.
makes LGBTQ and plus inclusive activity and coloring books for
Wow.
teenagers, and adults.
Oh, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, and you can buy them on Amazon. And I just want to show you the coolest picture of the things that she's got. It's honestly, it's really she's so creative. I think that's part of it is that,
Oh my God, that is awesome.
right?
What a creative, different, necessary, needed idea,
Necessary, right? So she's
right?
got, the
Yeah.
big book of LGBTQ positivity, and then there's
Nice.
A to Z of LGBTQ plus terms, which again,
Oh,
helpful, right?
yes.
My big
Totally.
LGBTQ coloring book, and my big book of families. And
Mhm.
you know, they're for all ages. They're available on Amazon. She's super like super cute. She just seems super
Oh,
cute.
yeah. Oh, look at
So her
that.
name is Katrina. You can follow her on Instagram at LGBT underscore llama underscore official. And that's how I found her. Like I
Wow.
found her, and it's great. I mean, there's like it takes like the most normal thing, right? Like instead of
Yeah.
mom and dad, maybe mom and mama, dad and papa,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
grandparent instead of say grandparent instead of nan or granddad.
Mhm. Mhm.
If you it's just absolutely the basic stuff that everybody just
Yeah.
needs to be retaught a little bit.
Yeah. I
Um,
love that idea.
yeah,
I'm looking forward to meeting
yeah.
her.
So we've got her coming up, and then we've got my longtime friend Kathy Caton, and she's
Yeah.
the owner of Brighton Gin, and that is
Oh,
one
yeah.
of the only LGBTQ owned and operated distilleries
That
here
is
in the UK.
awesome.
Yeah, when I met her,
Love
she was doing a radio show, and my first year here, and I did her radio show talking about the Lesbian Lounge podcast,
Oh,
and after that we went out for coffee and got to know each other a little bit, and we've just kind of been following each other on social media ever since.
oh, how cool is that?
It's really cool to see this career change, but how
Yeah.
it started off so small. She used to do deliveries on her bicycle to
Oh,
different bars, you know. Now they've got
wow.
like a van, they're in all kinds of great places,
Wow.
and that outside of Brighton, you know what I mean? Like she's
Yeah,
competing
yeah.
with big, I mean, you know, like over here,
Amazing.
Beefeater Gin, Tanqueray,
Right.
Bombay Sapphire, like you're competing with all these big names, and you know
Yeah.
what? She's right up there with them, and it's really
That's
inspiring.
awesome.
Yeah.
That
So
reminds me of Lady and Sons, Paula Dean. She
yeah,
started out delivering in Savannah, delivering lunches to the office buildings. And so, and it was called Bag Lady because she'd have these bag lunches.
Yes. Yeah.
And and her sons would help her do it. She was a single mom. And then she opened up the restaurant, Lady and Sons. That's how she started.
Same thing with like Ina Garten. She started like she worked on like Wall Street in finance, and
Yeah.
she ended up leaving that and just taking
Yeah.
a leap and opening up a tiny little gourmet, gourmet shop that sold like jams and
Yeah.
pastries and things like that, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's inspiring.
Honestly, I don't like normally watch TV like on a Sunday night or whatever. I'll catch up on some of my shows or whatever. But
Yeah.
I started watching Who's Talking to Chris Wallace.
Yeah.
And he's been around forever. He's been doing news
Yeah.
for Chris Wallace. But now he's doing these really cool in-depth interviews, and he's had on really good people. Really good
Wow.
people.
I have to
George
check that
Clooney.
out.
Yeah, he talking to, and they're very easygoing conversations.
Yeah.
It's like when people would go on Larry King and he would have, his suspenders and his microphone and he'd be like drilling them.
Yeah.
Right? These are just really easy conversations about how you got started, moments, whatever that were like headlining moments like in their life or whatever. And he had
Yeah.
Ina Garten, he had Idina Menzel, George Clooney, Dionne Warwick. I mean, I found that one
Wow.
absolutely fascinating.
Love her. Yeah.
Yeah. So especially now because Burt Bacharach passed away, right? So she's really,
Yeah.
talking about all that. So yeah, I just find it really interesting. Like Kathy's story, like from starting out this small little thing and being able to watch it grow, especially on social media, because
Mhm.
think about people that started small and are big now or whatever,
Right.
and they
Right.
did it without social media.
Right.
Like, that's intense. Yeah.
Right.
That
That is true.
intense. Yep. And then I told you that I got the 80s ladies coming
Yeah,
up.
I can't wait to speak with them. Oh, that's
They
gonna be
have
fun.
they have a podcast called 80s TV Ladies, and
Uh-huh.
it's devoted to the ladies of 80s TV. It's more so about the female driven 80s TV shows. And it's from their modern perspective. So
I can't wait for that.
yeah, I think they're in the midst of like a deep dive of Remington Steele right now, because
Oh, okay.
I have to check it out a little bit, but they're, check out their website. I think it's 80stvladies.com.
That is
To give you a
cool.
little background on them, I think one of them has worked in TV.
Hmm.
So she's able to get a couple of cool guests from back then.
Oh, yeah.
Show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fun Twitter account to follow. That's where I found that. So
I
we have
bet. Yeah.
Susan and Sharon, both on in March. So yeah, that's a couple of good guests coming up.
That is awesome. And I reached out to Cody Baccia. He is an actor he's my nephew's wife's brother. And he is a young actor.
Okay.
My
Had to put that
nephew's
together.
wife's brother. And he is a very beautiful gay man. He just got married. And so they live in New York, but they come down a lot because his mom and dad, his family's down here. And so I just reached out to him last night. They had the premiere of a movie, an indie movie that he is in, and I think he had something to do with the production, either the directing or he was one of the producers. It's called Out of the Woods, and it's like I think it's like a slasher, like maybe not slasher, but like a horror movie. And it's about these teenagers that tell the campfire stories, and then the stories start coming true. So, when you sit around telling ghost stories and then the stories start
That's pretty
happening to
interesting
them.
concept, isn't it?
Kind of a cool concept. So I reached out and he said, as soon as this weekend is over, because this is the big premiere weekend. Maybe it didn't premiere. I think it premiered somewhere. I think sometimes they do like soft openings, right? Like different theaters.
Yeah.
And then the big one is Saturday. So he's after that, he's going to reach out to me and we're going to have him on the show because
Oh, cool.
I reached out and told him I'd love to have him on. So yeah, and I was so excited to see the state radio station in South Africa. What a nice advertisement they made for our show being on their
You should
station every
actually mention
Tuesday
them. Yep.
afternoon.
Tuesday afternoon.
Gesa, right? Gesa Radio. I was so excited
Get
to
it
see
right.
that.
It is, yeah, Gay SA Radio, and that is the voice of South African LGBT community, and they've got a really cool lineup, man. They've got this guy named Joseph Sinatra that's on Saturdays from 7 to 8 p.m. and it's
Yeah.
rhythm and experience the beat of Joseph Sinatra in the dance world. So that must be good dance music right there, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
They have Big Gay Fiction Wednesday afternoons. And they, I think, give you a weekly dose of LGBTQ plus lit book reviews, literary reviews,
Oh,
which is
nice.
way cool. It's got some really diverse content. And I think that's the thing that I like about you know, they have Chat with Laura and Friends on Friday afternoons, and that's everything about style and empowerment, fashion tips, personal
Nice.
development, boost of inspiration. So they've got just some super cool stuff. They got a business show, Business Titans, on Monday afternoon. So, you know, it's all, you can live stream it. So I guess
That's
if you do your world clock math,
yes, which you are the expert
of. But yeah, we're on Tuesday afternoons at 1:30. And then,
is that their 1:30?
their
That's
1:30. Yep,
Okay,
1:30 CAT.
awesome.
And that, can I tell you how they described us?
Mm-hmm.
Featuring lively chats with guests and a variety of topics.
I love it.
So let's just say hi to all our gay
Yeah,
African LGBT
definitely.
community out there. And
Definitely.
they're a fun follow as well. Like on Instagram, you can follow them and it kind of go through their profile page and it tells you every day of the week what's going on, which is
They have great
really cool.
content. Yeah.
Really good content,
I'm
really diverse.
very proud to be part of that. I have to do a post about that tonight because I want to get the word out about that. And,
Yeah,
and they have cool music that they play also.
I mean, I think the reason that I began doing podcasts, first I used to do FM radio with Marky G, right? So we had Marky G show.
Yeah.
And that was like FM radio, Power 96.1, if you recall. And when a rock channel bought them out, everybody just kind of like was left not knowing what to do. And a couple months went by, and this guy that was producing Mark's show, another Mark, his name was Mark Winter, he called me up and he said, I am working for a web-based radio station.
Yeah.
So back then, I think, right. And nobody really knew what streaming was, what live streaming was, what a podcast was.
Right.
So he said, so I'm working for this web-based radio station, and it was in Deerfield. And he said, they're looking for content. So why don't you come down and pitch something to them? And so I walked into this, it just was like an office building. Like it was very strange. It was just an office building, and you didn't really get a feel like you were walking into like Clear Channel radio station. So I was like, a lot of computers, a lot of nerds behind there pushing up their glasses, watching, you know. And then it was like a studio room, you know, that had the sound on the walls and the big microphones. And I was like, okay, all right. So I met with Mark, and he introduced me to the owners of the station, and they explained,
Uh-huh.
much to my surprise, that they they had a lot of different content, but their most active was porn based.
Oh,
And I was
that
like,
never goes out of style.
this might not be right for me. And they were like, no, 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 no,
Right,
no, no.
right, right.
The shows that are doing really well are shows that tell you how to make money off of it. Not
Oh,
not like being in it, not producing a film, but how to make money from websites and stuff like that. So
mhm.
I was like, yeah, that still doesn't sound great. And they said, that's okay, because you don't have to do that. You can pitch whatever you want to pitch. So
Oh, that's good.
I thought, let me keep one foot in the door of being dirty,
Right, right,
but I want to make it funny. Like,
right.
I want to make fun of porn,
That's so you. Oh,
right? Like,
perfect.
so
Oh,
I
yeah.
came up with the
Awesome.
show, right, called Dirty White Chicks. And I, of course, brought Donna in to be my news person. And we had really interesting, different like segments. Like
Mhm.
I would read a paragraph from Jenna Jameson's book. She's a porn star. Why not? Right.
Right.
I had a segment called Lesbian Tips for Straight Men.
Oh.
We did like news of the week. We reviewed one porn website a week, and then we would also interview porn stars, which
Oh.
was hilarious. Because I'd be like, so what do you actually tell your parents you're doing when you're off shooting porn? Because these girls were like 18, 19, 20, 21.
Oh,
They were so
oh
young.
my God. Yeah.
And we would just have a rip and just have some laughs. But it did really, really well. So yeah, it was a super strange time to be doing that, and yet here we are, right? Everybody's got a podcast. But I will tell you this, I think I put this on, let me just double check here, because this was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's on my own website, didn't I? On my own Facebook. Okay. New podcasts on the decline with an 80% drop over the last 2 years.
Oh.
You know what? So
Good.
good. All the people that couldn't make their movies and their television shows
Right?
or go on
Yes.
tour, right? We sat around making podcasts and pushed all us indie people off to the
Yes.
side. And now that they
True.
go back doing whatever they were
Oh, they're
doing,
gone. Yeah.
their podcasts are done. So
Back to the big screen.
right. Right. So we can just like blow the door down with our stuff.
Yes.
Like, God,
I am looking forward to that. Yeah, and you know what? We've
Man.
sustained, and I'm really proud of us that we've been going, and we've had some really, really cool guests
Yeah.
for a newer podcast.
Yeah. It was easier to
So
get them last year, wasn't it?
yeah, right now everybody's busy again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the hard part, is that everybody's busy again. It is really, really difficult to land guests. Like a lot of it is
Oh
luck,
yeah.
isn't it? Like I
Yeah.
find them through Twitter and through Instagram. And so a lot of them really are just lucky that, I'm lucky they answered back,
Yes.
but
And I'm
it's
finding
hard.
Facebook is not the way to look. It's either got to be Instagram or Twitter, which I'm not much on the Twitter, but but
Twitter.
when I reached out to Cody, I reached out to him on Facebook, and I'm like, I probably should have done it on Instagram. And then, being the fact that he's, related to my family, I should have just called him on the phone, but I didn't.
Texted him.
I
Yeah,
told
right.
him,
That's
I
funny.
always see him at any event that's
Yeah.
baptisms, weddings, whatever, when people get together with family. But so yeah, so I'm looking forward to him coming on. And
what's cool too is because you're doing Palm Beach Pride. Once we find out who's headlining, we should definitely get those people booked in for interviews. Doesn't have to be about Pride. It can just be about whatever, whatever they do. That would be fun.
let's
then we won't get
definitely,
to see them, you know?
yep, let's definitely do that. And I want to also get in touch with the drag queens from Orlando. When I went up to Hamburger Mary's up there, they were amazing. They were great. And I
Yeah,
told them about the
they were
show.
so good.
So,
Yeah. They were
and I,
flawless. They were flawless.
they
Like
were
I felt like I
flawless.
was looking at Reba McEntire.
Absolutely. I couldn't believe my eyes. And I'm like, we're not in some Vegas big venue. We're in Hamburger Mary's and on Church Street in downtown Orlando. Why aren't these people, on major stages? Because they really put the time, the
Yeah,
detail, because the teeth, um, there was a whole thing with the guy that did Reba, that the teeth were either his lip went in when he was Reba or their lip went out when he was Cher. And it was the same set of teeth.
that's crazy.
And he
That
was
is
telling us
crazy.
his secret. And yeah, and it was really amazing. And the Tina Turner drag queen told me that it took her like 3 years to get that down, that act down, like to be
Oh
like
yeah.
Tina, have it so perfected. So yeah, they were flawless. They were amazing.
You
And
know what, too? Like, God bless them, because what these queens are going through now, you know,
yeah,
it's horrific. They're the good that they put out, like doing story times and stuff like that, and getting children to be okay, like,
yeah, yeah,
and then to have these, like, anti-gay, anti-drag queen, you know, people come and deface the property and disrupt these
yeah,
events.
yeah.
It's all fear-based. It's all
Oh, totally.
fear-based.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's creeping into government, like you got
Oh
Ryan
God.
Dennis over there that's,
Oh, that's true.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
So it's really, like, just bless their hearts for enduring and continue,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
still, I mean, the whole thing behind it is the joy that it brings people. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
definitely.
It is
Oh, totally.
absolutely, like, I honestly, like, I was never a huge fan. I will admit it. It's not that I dislike them. I got nothing out of it. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wasn't, I don't know, like, the funny ones are fun.
Uh-huh.
Like, if we would go to
Yeah,
like drag bingo or whatever, and they rip on the audience
right,
and all that kind
right.
of, like, I'm totally
Yeah,
down with that.
yeah.
I'm okay. But to go and see a show where each one comes out and lip syncs or whatever, I would kind of get a little restless.
Uh-huh.
But now that it's just so celebrated, like,
It's such an art form. Yeah,
yeah, like, we
total
just
art
need
form.
to have RuPaul's channel. He has an entire channel that's
Wow.
all the seasons of Drag Race and all the shows that they produce, on top of that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We just paid for it because we can't do Sundays without watching Drag Race. Whether it's RuPaul's Drag Race, whether it's Canadian, whether it's the UK, but we have to watch like a drag show on Sunday, like, some kind of program. So we've actually just paid for the WoW channel from RuPaul, and I never thought I'd be saying that. Like, I never thought I'd be sitting here saying, "God bless the queens."
You know what? There's a show I found. I think I want to say it's Netflix, but it might have been Showtime. I love documentaries or docuseries about, could be whoever. It's not always arts and entertainment, but um I find them fascinating, the real life stories of people, right? So I was in the docuseries section of, I want to say it was Netflix. Um, and there's a show called We're Here.
Yes,
And
we
you know
have.
it?
Yeah,
Oh, what a great concept.
it was
Because
so good, wasn't it?
the
Is that the
drag
one with Bob,
queens,
Bob the drag queen,
yeah, the
uh,
big heavy set.
big black guy?
Um,
Yep.
yeah.
Yes.
And they go into these towns where people are not
Shangela,
accepting,
Shangela,
and
right?
they change people's perspective
Yeah.
about it, and it's amazing. They go to these little podunk towns and
Yes.
places where people would not be accepting them, and they actually are changing people's feelings about that. And it changing the people in that in those little towns lives,
Yeah,
because now
yeah.
they're out and they're having the, they're living their truth and
We
they're
loved
doing
it.
what their
Yep,
thing.
we
Yeah,
loved it.
what a great show. So you've seen it then. You've
Oh,
seen that
yeah,
show.
yeah, like
There's like
probably,
2 or 3 seasons, I think, right?
yeah, there's a, yeah,
Or
3 of them, yeah. And it actually aired on like the BBC here. And
ah,
then it went to like streaming services. So we got to, like to see it a couple of years ago, actually, I think. And we just got hooked. I mean, it was just so good. And now Bob the drag queen's traveling with Madonna on tour.
really?
Shangela was just on Dancing with the Stars.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that stuff, it changes lives. It's crazy. I've been doing like some docuseries to watch the Pamela Anderson one, the
Yeah. Yeah.
Love Pamela. Nope. Was that the book? I don't know. I bought the book too, and I read the book. It was really, really good. But the documentary was great. Like, I have just a whole different perspective now. Like, I think everybody had the same thoughts about her. A lot of it was, she got what she deserved, especially with the,
Mhm.
well, if you're gonna be like that, then you got what you deserve, what do you
Yeah.
care?
Yeah.
You were in Playboy. What do you care, who's seeing you naked and all this stuff, like they don't
Right. Right.
see like a person behind there,
Yes.
like an actual
Absolutely.
human
Yeah.
being.
People
And
forget that. Yeah.
what the press did, what the paparazzi did and put her through was
Mhm.
brutal in the media. It was just absolutely
Yeah.
brutal. In the lawsuits, when she tried to get that tape back and
Mhm.
sue. She ended up giving up because she was pregnant with her second son, and
Mm.
she was the stress of the trial. And she
Oh
said
yeah. Yeah.
having just a room full of lawyers ask you the most intimate, personal questions, was just absolutely traumatizing. And it's just like, of course that
Yeah.
would be like, nobody should have to go through that. It's just,
Exactly.
but the way she persevered, I think, is the only word I can think of. Like,
Yeah.
she knew when to get out of her marriage. She, and she keeps getting married. I think been married like 4 times, and she's just like, like didn't give up on love. But I do think that she's come to the
Yeah.
realization that she probably will never have a love like she had with Tommy Lee, and she's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the father of her kids. And no relationship is ever going to match that, So instead
That
of
happens.
instead of looking for that, she's kind of like, she did Broadway. She was in Gypsy,
Wow.
like,
Wow.
unbelievable. Like, she's just kind of turned the focus back into, what do I want to do? What's right for
You
me?
have
I
you
mean,
have to do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, like, it's just absolutely inspiring. Like, the documentary was great. The book was really well done. And I just think if and I felt that way about Prince Harry's book too. Like, I thought it was really well done, and I don't care who didn't,
Yeah.
I don't care that he rustled feathers, that he
Yeah.
upset the monarchy or whatever. I think it's hard to say. And I've really changed my thoughts on this because I didn't get to watch the Grammys, but I do see clips,
Yeah.
afterwards. And for Harry Styles to say, this never happens to anybody like me, was kind of like, oh God, read the room.
Right. Right.
A white
That's true.
privileged kid that came from a successful boy band,
Read the room.
it was all in place. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that was like, I'm extremely aware of that. And I won't say that he was treated badly or poorly, because yes, he's a prince. You know what I mean? Like, I
Right. Right.
understand that. I
Uh,
understand that Harry is a prince, but I do in some
Yeah.
way think that he was treated badly. Like, neither one of those kids were ever given help after Princess Diana
Yeah.
passed away.
Yeah.
And Charles as a parent was a crappy parent. There's no
Yeah.
way to
Yeah.
say it. He was a crappy parent. And I think, they both suffer from it, but I do think that
Oh yeah.
William was molded and shaped to be a king, whereas Harry
Right.
got dumped on because he was a spare,
The spare heir, yeah.
Yes. So yeah, that was my take. And I don't think that he was whinging or whining or complaining about it. I think he was just putting it out there so that people understand why he left.
Yeah,
Because
right, right,
if you read it, you don't blame him. You're like, go live your life, take care
right.
of your family, like,
Exactly, right, right.
yeah. He was, in my opinion, he was less protected than William would ever be.
Oh,
And,
definitely, yeah,
and he
sure.
had to rise up. Like, he's got 2 kids, he's got a wife. He,
Mhm.
had to
I'm,
figure
yeah.
out a way to make his wife feel safe and feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked the book, and I watched their Netflix doc too. It was really,
So,
really good.
so what is that? He's like, there's no way he'd ever be king, right? I mean, that's why he's the spare heir. He's not in line to be
Right,
king. So
right,
that's why
right. Like
he's
Charles would have to die, William would have to die, George, William's kids, each one of them would have to die.
right,
Be-
right.
right. So it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah.
But he understands that, and I don't think that he had any expectation, that, and I don't think that he ever felt badly about it until he got married,
Right. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
That's a real fairy tale story, though, from her perspective. I mean, who does that happen to? Like, that's
yeah,
amazing. What an
yeah.
amazing story.
And they're so,
So,
I think they're so like lovely together, and I do think that the
mhm.
British press and the relationship that the current monarchy has with the British press is absolutely detrimental to a person like Meghan.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
were never going to accept her, and they were always going to try and control the narrative. And yeah, I don't know. I can't believe that someone like her, where she came from, what she just married into, I can't imagine going into that and being a bitch.
right.
You,
You can't.
you can't, right? I mean,
There's no way.
you might make a lot of faux pas,
Right.
and you might get a little stressed about
Mhm,
what you're supposed to do and what
mhm.
people think that you should know when it's never been in your realm. You know what I mean? It's never
Right,
been in your realm
right.
of thought. And yet, people expect you to know these traditions and things that have been in place for years and years and years. So I just can't imagine being a bitch. I just can't. So I'll never believe that.
Yeah.
Never, I absolutely never believe that. But yeah, it's like you said, the documentaries are like amazing because they're really giving you someone's perspective, if they're done
Yeah.
well, if they're done right,
Right,
I don't,
right.
like I've kind of had enough of like, I did not go see this current Whitney Houston movie.
Oh, yeah, that's been, I agree.
Yeah,
That story's been told
it didn't need
over
to
and
be told.
over.
Right, it didn't need to be told.
Yeah,
And I don't like it when the family doesn't give their blessing. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you feel
yeah.
like something's not right here, something's not right here. If the family's not okay with this, something's not right here. But I did see where Michael Jackson's nephew was going to be playing him in a biopic.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
Interesting. Yeah,
Interesting.
I can't remember whose kid it is. It's either Tito's or Randy's.
Yeah, we're just gonna ask you whose
Yeah,
kid is that?
but
Well, I just watched Showtime's George and Tammy. It's not really a documentary, but
I keep seeing that pop up on my thing. Yeah,
it was a series, a limited series. What an amazing, like, I knew some of their story, but I didn't know, like, what a maniac George Jones was. And he,
you
he
wouldn't
would just
think it to look at him, would you?
no, you would
Never.
not. In fact,
Yeah.
the guy that played him, I can't think of his name, in the movie, in the series, didn't really look like him, but at all.
No.
She
I noticed that
is
in the picture.
amazing. Yeah, he did not look like George Jones at all, but Jessica Chastain just like becomes the people that
Plays,
she is
yes.
doing
I'm
these
trying to
movies,
see.
like in
Michael
Tammy Faye.
Shannon. Yeah, that's the guy. Michael
Yeah,
Shannon. Yeah.
and but I think they both did their own singing. I know she did her own singing, and
She's a
she's
really good actress.
she's amazing, and she's one of the executive producers. So I think it's almost like I was reading the other day that people like stars, especially when you're a star, but when you
Yeah.
want to be making these movies now, gone are the days where people were discovered, somewhere. Like now you have to create your opportunities.
It's
And I
so
can't
true.
remember where I heard that, who said that, but it was someone in the business
It's
saying
really, really
you
true.
have to create your project.
Yeah.
So if you're wealthy enough and famous enough to have your own money to put up to it, that's, if you watch like the L Word, all of those original women are all executive producers of that one.
Yeah.
Frankie and Grace and Frankie, both of those women are executive producers.
Every actor
And
has their own
almost-
production company now.
Yes, I mean,
Right?
you really have to create your
And you know what
opportunities.
I like Reese Witherspoon, like
Mhm.
she puts out a
Absolutely.
lot of content,
She was one of the first women actually that were like that powerful to do that. And now, like, you see everyone, almost always when you see something like that come out, the lead actress is one of the executive producers. And then of course they have to get more people because they need so much money.
Yeah.
They have to get more executive producers. And Christina Applegate had a problem with Dead to Me because
Will Ferrell.
she had, yeah, he really, really screwed her to the point where, because he pulled all his people out after it was so successful the first season, and she had a breakdown, a mental breakdown. She went had to go into or get rest, or I don't know what, like not a rehab, but she had to go and just get herself back together because the pressure became so much to keep. I mean, I can't believe she did this thing, she put it together, it was wildly successful,
Yeah.
and you still pull your people out, and she said he's famous for doing that, and she kind of expected he would, and then he did. So, that leaves you.
What? The third season was amazing. Absolutely amazing. I will watch it again.
Yeah.
Like, I thought, I just
again.
thought everybody was so good in it.
Yeah, totally.
Really good.
And it leaves you like floundering. Now you've got this great show and you got to find money again for people to put the money into it.
Yeah.
So there's that whole other like crazy side of the business. But so Jessica Chastain was one of the executive producers, and she just did a great job. I'm a big Tammy Wynette fan, so there was so much of that story I did not know about her. But I have a friend of mine who I was singing with in the 90s, got to open for Tammy Wynette at a festival.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and it was right before she passed away, like probably a year or two before she passed away. And I remember her telling me she was so ill that they had to practically prop her up on the stool to come out and sing. And she had a feeding tube that she was getting, or maybe, I don't know if it was a feeding tube or she was getting IV nutrition before she went on stage. And they show that in the show, that was true. And she was very ill with abdominal adhesions from a botched hysterectomy when she had Georgette Jones, her last child. And she had I think they said 14 surgeries and they could never really correct it. So she was on a lot of IV pain meds. And so it's a really great series, but I didn't know that part of her story. I did know she was ill because of what my friend told me. And that was actually true. You see her getting the IV and she could barely, she's on stage and she was so frail. And then the thing that really shocked me was she was only 58 years old when she died.
Yeah.
When I saw the pictures,
Oh,
because Claire got to maybe say hello to her. Like a lot of times when you open for these people, you never meet them.
never even see him. Yeah.
Don't even meet them. But she did, I think, get either a picture with her, or her husband at the time snapped a picture when she was walking past her. And wow, she looked really, really sickly and frail in the picture. That was not a fixed picture in a magazine. That was from
Right.
his own camera. That was before phones had cameras and stuff. But it was so sad to see that part was true. Yeah, I recommend that. Sorry, I went off on a tangent because I just love that show so much. I wish there was more of it. Hello. Is that Molly or Bruce?
Yeah,
I can't.
that's Molly.
Bruce is not that. He's not that chipper to be doing that right now, right?
He's wait. I would never do that with him right now. I try and leave him alone as much as I can. Okay.
So I highly recommend that as a watch. If you guys get that.
I do like Jessica Chastain, and if you like her, you will love the movie 355.
Oh, is that new? Is that a new movie?
It's from 2022. I watched it with my parents when I was home last time. But it's got her, Penelope Cruz, Diane Kruger, Bing Bing Fan. I don't know if you know, she's really cool. And it's really, really good. It's about a bunch of different intelligence agents, like she's like CIA, Diane Kruger's like from whatever the German equivalent of the CIA is. And yeah, they all come together to take down someone that set them up. It's really, really, really good. Yeah, I love like a good like female ass kicking, female driven ass kicking movie, and that is definitely one of them. You will be like, yeah, it was really, really good. As a matter of fact, I missed the last 15 minutes of it with my parents because I was leaving the next day and Donna was coming over to say goodbye. And so I didn't want to tell my parents, pause it for me, and then I left the next day and never got to see the last 15 minutes of it. So so this year for me to find it, and then I made Gemma watch it so I could see the last 15 minutes. No.
I will look for that. I will look for that.
Right now we are like midway through Truth Be Told on Apple. I love me some Octavia Spencer, and that is a good one. And it's really good this season. It's a little darker than last season, but really good. And what's the other thing? Well, like everything's kind of like coming back now. We went through such a period where there was absolutely, we weren't getting like the stuff that we normally get, like all the Chicagos, all the NCISs, we were getting any because they were all gradually being moved to the streaming services. They went from the regular network, television or whatever to streaming services. So I had to kind of like go like, oh, okay, well, NCISs are on Disney, and some of the Chicagos are still airing now on our regular TV, but you can also find them on streamers. So it's been like a huge adjustment over here with American television shows. So but I have been like, I kind of forced myself to watch some old, like I told you, I watched all 11 seasons of Cheers. I can't even tell you some of the famous people that are in that. As like crazy. Emma Thompson was a guest star, Lisa before Friends, before they were famous. Yeah. So
a lot of them before their plastic surgery, right?
Yeah.
Some of the people when they were starting out.
So good. And then I'm watching like I watched all 8 seasons of Mom. because I loved that show
Oh,
and I
I
didn't get
love
to
that
see.
show.
Yeah.
That show was great. I don't, it's a shame they ended it because no one on that show wanted it to end. They were very surprised when it got canceled, but Anna Faris, is that the way you say her name?
Yeah.
She didn't want to do the show anymore, but I mean, they could have tried to continue it. I thought,
well, that eighth season without her, I didn't feel it. I didn't feel
I
her.
feel it. I thought
Right.
that girl, what's her name? The big, tall blonde that
Kristen
she
Johnson.
played. Yes, I thought she was great in
Yeah.
that. Like it
It's
was,
so good.
I don't
And
think it
Tammy.
lost anything.
Yep.
So yeah,
And the
that was a shame.
guy, the guy, Adam, you know, in the wheelchair.
Yeah,
He was great. He's from
it was.
Buffalo.
Is he? Oh,
He
yeah,
is
that was a
fantastic.
great show.
Yeah.
And what was I also going to say? Oh, did you watch A Million Little Things? Were you a fan of that
No.
show? Well, it was a few seasons. It started in 2018 and the final season it finally came back last night. And I have
Yeah, I
it
was
set up
going to
to
tell you, I
record.
saw that on my Twitter and I was
So
like,
all of a sudden, oh, you remember that I watched
yeah,
it, and
yeah.
I got
And, I,
pleasantly surprised that it was there.
yeah, I know. It's weird the way like we have Grey's Anatomy, you know,
Mhm.
the current season, whatever it is, 18, 17, 18.
Wow, it's
I don't know.
amazing
Yeah.
when shows.
But there's only 6 episodes and it's been gone for like 2 months. And I keep
Wow.
saying it's because of football, right?
Right,
It's
right.
because like the end of the football season and then there's the playoffs and then like football used to be like Monday Night Football and that was it, right? Now it's Monday, Sunday, and Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like towards the end, then you have the playoffs and that can, that was on Saturdays, the playoff, some of the playoff games.
Yeah,
It's
Saturday,
still
right.
like the end of the football season all the way through the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
It's a huge chunk of regular network television.
That's true. Yeah, very true.
Just a hiatus. So I'm waiting for, I watch Station 19 and I watch Grey's and that both of them are stuck on the 6th episode and they have not continued. And Yellowstone, oh my God.
Yeah, I heard that was good. I never watched that. I don't know, it never looked like it would appeal to me, but everyone's telling me to watch it. So
Seriously watch it because I am telling you, they have well, I'm on season 5 and there is a girl who's a country singer and I want to say it's Lainey Wilson, but I'm not quite sure, but she's so good. And
really,
she's kind
wow.
of playing, she's a real singer that has,
Mhm.
Real albums and everything. But she's actually playing a country singer on Yellowstone. So it's pretty cool.
Oh.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I love that. And I love the music, like, I don't know who picks it, but it's some of the most amazing country songs I have ever heard.
Wow.
So I love Yellowstone.
Wow. Are they still making Yellowstone? Are they still
There's
making that?
talk that this might
series?
be the final season, but nobody knows for sure.
I wonder if they need Redneck Limousine on their show. I have to tell my publishers to try to reach out.
Well, it's not there.
you-
Like, oh, geez, I just got a cramp. This guy that Taylor Sheridan he's pretty much locked up all of Paramount Plus. So
Yeah,
he wrote and produced Yellowstone, right? He wrote and
Yeah.
produced 1883 with Tim McGraw and Faith Hill.
mhm.
Again, I have never seen such amazing television. Like, I am
Wow.
so stunned that got overlooked at the Emmys. Like, stunned.
Yeah,
When I tell
yeah.
you the acting, the cinematography, the story was amazing. And then he also does Mayor of Kingstown, which I don't watch. And I got hopelessly addicted to the Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone.
I
Again,
have to start
great
looking
music.
Yeah.
Really good stuff. So yeah, but those are like that was fast. I'm not liking 1923, with Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know that one either. Are these all Netflix streaming?
Paramount Plus.
Oh, you just said Paramount. Oh, okay.
Or Peacock,
I
I think,
still.
for you guys, but they all stem from Yellowstone.
Okay, okay.
So
I see.
they all stem from Yellowstone. Has spawned a clothing shop, a whole bunch of podcasts. It's
Wow,
unbelievable. But
that's crazy.
the origin stories of this family from Yellowstone goes
Mhm.
back to 1883.
Oh, okay. Hence the other show.
Right. And then
Yeah.
1923, it's all about
Mhm.
the Dutton family. And then if you watch
Yeah,
Yellowstone, you understand more
Interesting.
why he wants to save his ranch. You
Mhm,
get it.
mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you get it all the way
Yeah,
back
yeah.
to why they're in Montana in 1883.
Mhm.
They were in a group that was leading immigrants from, I think it was like, I don't even know, some like Texas, maybe, I don't know, but leading them through the Oregon Trail to end up in Oregon. So there were immigrants from Ireland and Poland and all over that came to America and then didn't know how to get to where they wanted to be. So they were paying Americans to lead them across the West, the Oregon
Oh,
Trail,
yeah,
where
yeah.
they were like coming up against Indians and wild animals and weather and
Right.
all that stuff. They needed like ranchers and cowboys like to help them get there.
Yeah,
So
right.
that was the origin story. So they were supposedly supposed to get to Oregon, and they in the 1883 series you find out why they ended up in Montana and why,
Oh, I see.
right?
Interesting.
And then like, so it goes from 1883 to present time. Yellowstone is present time. And
Right,
like, if you really get swallowed up in it, you go, oh my God, they went from like having to worry about weather and
right, right.
wild animals and crossing rivers and all that kind of stuff to like corporations now trying to, to disrupt
Right.
the ranch
That's,
and
that's cool.
force
I
them
could
to
see where
sell.
you could get completely invested in that if you start
Yeah.
watching that,
Yeah, but it's also, I think, really shining the spotlight on Native Americans,
Yeah, yeah.
indigenous people
Oh,
and what
that's
we did to them,
interesting.
Like the
Yeah.
last thing in 1883 was, that Dutton, James Dutton, Tim McGraw saying, this is our land, this is our land. And one of the Indians say, you can have it, but we're taking it back in 7 generations, because it had something to do with
Oh,
Indian spirits. So now,
yeah, yeah.
that family, the Rainwater family, is
Uh-huh.
button up against Kevin Costner, so it's like
Oh,
7
God.
generations later. Yeah. So it's
Mm.
yeah, it's really interesting. But the thing with the 1823 was, it was like the Prohibition era. And also they were trying to strip the indigenous and Native American people of their heritage. So they were sending them to Catholic school where priests were beating them and
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
and trying to turn them into like cowboy wives, Catholic
Oh,
boy wives. Uh,
uh-huh.
and there's just this storyline that's just too heavy. Like,
Wow.
I can't watch them beating the tar out of this like Indian girl.
Oh, yeah.
The
Oh,
nuns, like then I could probably watch the 5th episode, because I think I think one of the girl
they start thinking back.
finally escapes, and she killed both nuns and finally escapes, but she's fearful that the priest is going to come in and find her. So yeah, it's just really, really heavy. A lot of stuff is super graphic, like the first couple of
Yeah.
episodes of 1883 that I watched, where like an animal would die, I would get like so heartbroken, but you gotta understand, 1883, they didn't have like veterinarians and
That's
what I mean?
true. And the
So
people didn't even live too long, so the
right,
animals.
right. So I had to keep that in mind, even watching Yellowstone, because he's a rancher, and I
Yeah.
can't stand seeing an animal get roped and and
Oh, I know, I can't. Yeah, I hear
but it's
you.
all a part of ranch life. And I think they're
Right.
starting off like another series. I think the 666's ranch, I think they're gonna end up like having a series about that too. But it's just
Wow.
the actors are just really,
So
really
it's
good. The scripts
it's
are
becoming
amazing,
like a franchise of all of these,
huge,
much
huge.
like the 90-Day Fiance franchise. I'm invested in.
I can't, I tell you what, I can watch, I can't, I think it's because it's produced by TLC.
Yeah,
I don't
they're
like
going
anything.
downhill.
I don't like
I
anything,
agree.
but I
Yeah.
will watch like on Netflix. Did you ever hear of My Unorthodox Life?
Yes.
That's really
Yes.
good.
That was a good one. Yeah.
And I'm
Um,
I'm 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 full of shame to have to say this out loud right now, but I just finished watching Buying Beverly Hills, another reality show.
full of shame. See, those I'm not so interested in, the real estate and the wives, the real estate ones and the wives, the housewives ones. Don't
Well,
really
funny
get
you should say that because I was 3 episodes into this when I realized that Mauricio, that owns this, Beverly Hills real estate company, is married to Kyle Richards of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Oh,
And
there's
then I
the
was like,
cross
oh, all right,
crossover.
I know this family. Like I know this family from my Bravo days. So yeah, I was like super ashamed to say that I've watched that, but I liked, yeah, I don't mind some of the real estate ones, but yeah, I'm more about the restoration shows, like HGTV shows.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna,
Well, if 90-Day Fiance was how many years ago when you met Gemma and that you guys were dating? How many years is that? Like 14 years, 13, 14 years?
yeah,
If that were
2008.
around then, you guys could have been on that show because it's exactly what it's about. It's about one person
We would,
being from another country.
no, I get that. Yeah,
But
I
these
do.
people make careers out of it. I mean, they're ordinary people. And once they get on these shows, then even if they break up, they're on 90-Day The Single Life and 90-Day Happily
They
Ever
only get paid,
After.
they only get paid 15 grand.
Yeah.
That's
They
it.
what, for show or for the season?
Serious for the season.
Yeah, but it's still like a nice extra. And plus they're famous. You know what else they do? They utilize that fame on Instagram and social media and they get sponsorships and
Yeah, but
like
they're
when
big
we had
idiots. Like they're just big
maybe
idiots,
in the
and
beginning.
nobody respects them.
True. It
Nobody
depends.
respects them.
Like I'll tell you what, the best couple are these two gay guys, Armando and Kenny. And Kenny went to live in Mexico, but Armando's like 20 years younger than him. But Kenny looks amazing. He just doesn't look like there's this age gap, and he raised 4 children on his own as a single gay man that he had, a surrogate mom, and he had twins or triplets and then one other child. So that's kind of amazing that he did that. He comes from Tampa and he lives there and they're like one of the most popular couples. They're happy together. And of course, there's always drama. There's always has to be the drama that the family, whatever. But then now they started making candles. So they're using that fame to make candles, to buy their candles. What is that? Oh, look.
That's Brew.
Oh, I came
Hear 'em?
down. Oh,
Can you hear him?
yes, I hear him. Oh, I put my ear up to it. Yes, I hear.
Oh, he's coming
Aw.
down. That's nice.
He's like, Mama, pay attention to me.
No, he's actually just like, leave me alone. He's a nice one. So yeah, it's honestly, I think, do they have is it called the Gay Guy Candle Company? The gay.
No.
Okay,
Why?
because I follow an account on Instagram.
Oh.
It's like two guys that
Oh.
started the candle company, and the names of the candles are hilarious.
Oh my God, that is funny.
Yeah.
I love that. I
Yeah.
freaking love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have, I don't even know if it's their company. I think they hopped on as spokespeople for a company. I might be wrong that they started their own. I think they may have hopped on to be, whatever it is, they're using their
That's all they
fame on the
can do.
show.
That's all they can do because they don't have a talent. You know, like no,
And you know
I'm not
what?
saying it to be mean. I'm just saying
No,
it's the
you're
only
right.
thing they can do. You
And the
know,
thing is that you're right. It's not like they can go off and be an actor on another show, but TLC, I was thinking like they really get away with like they're not hiring professional actors. So these people, they're giving them $15,000 for a season each is nothing compared to
that's
what they
why.
would pay
Did you ever
stars.
watch the show called Unreal?
No.
It was about a show like The Bachelorette,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
was about the crew and the production company that was making that show.
Mhm.
And I feel like I learned a lot from that show. And I
Yeah, yeah,
had, you know, and of course our relationship with Dan, you know,
yeah,
knowing a
right,
little bit about the behind the scenes of the MTV stuff.
right. Yeah,
It's the least respected,
it is. You're right.
it damaged
It is. I
it
agree.
damaged original shows. It
I
damaged
totally agree.
the writers, production, you know, like it just did a world of damage. Like
Yeah,
that guy, you know, from Survivor and The Amazing Race on, just should have kept it. All the reality stuff should have been competition shows.
yeah, I agree. As much as
Yeah.
I watch them, I do totally agree with that.
I
Then you
feel like
take
they
shows.
ruined Hollywood.
Yeah, it
Totally
did
ruined it.
because you get these spectacles. People, the more of a spectacle and freak you are, the more
Yeah.
chance you have of getting on the show.
Yeah,
And then
that's terrible because it teaches society to gawk,
yeah,
make fun
yes.
of, you know, like I feel like every person that's addicted to like my fat fiance or my
Oh yeah, my big fat
1,000-pound
world.
wife,
Yeah,
whatever. If every person that watched that show watched the movie The Whale, they would never watch another show like that again.
yeah.
They
I
would
agree
never
with you.
understand, you know, the pain that's
Right.
behind it. And
Exactly.
you know, it's that
That's so true.
I don't
I
like
mean,
that.
I agree with that because these
Go.
people, you know, as much as it makes them, it gives
They're
them this
profiting off
platform.
someone else's pain, and it's sad.
They are.
Yeah.
And yes, that is true. That
Yeah,
is true.
it's really hard.
And they
I don't like to support it. Like I purposely, like, not that it counts, you know, like my viewership or whatever. You know, like I don't want to give them the view. I don't want to give them
yeah,
view. That's it. I don't want to give them the stream. I don't want to give them the view. You know, like but
true.
again, if it's a competition show, I'll watch it. Like the Traders
Yeah.
binged hard. We binged hard on UK and then right into the US one, which they were so different. But I like the fact that it's a competition show because they kind of, you know, people are talking about their strategies and whatnot, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
the money or whatever at the end. Oh,
Well, even though they're not scripted shows, you could definitely see they are
they're set up.
contrived
Yeah, they're set up.
situations.
Yeah.
You know, the situations are
Which again
definitely.
makes you sick, you know, like, but
Mhm.
I'm just making sure he's okay. But I have my bingey shows like Made in Chelsea over here that
Yeah,
you know, that's all bullshit. And I know
the mindless,
like the
shameful,
Hills,
mindless,
you know,
guilty pleasures.
we freaking
Yeah,
beat on the Hills reunion, you know, like, oh my God, they're all in their 30s and they're exactly as stunted as they were in their 20s. Like, good Lord,
Yeah.
man.
That is true. That is true.
It's crazy. But yeah, there's just been like an explosion of television for us, especially when we got the new TV because the streamers were all kind of like included,
Mhm,
you
mhm,
know, on the TV. So we already had subscriptions to most things. And
mhm.
so like now I just like I'm so overwhelmed at what I can watch. You know, like
Right?
literally
It's true. It's so
yeah,
much to choose from. You don't know what to choose. That's
it's
true.
so overwhelming that I have to have a list on my phone and what service is it's on, you know, because then you're looking for something and you're like, was it on Paramount or was it on Disney? Was it
Right, right.
on
That's
Hulu?
like
Was it on BBC? Like, oh my God, yeah.
True. Like I can't remember if it was Netflix or Showtime. But mostly those are the two that I watch the docuseries on. But Hulu's got some good ones too. But
We get a lot of Hulu stuff through Disney, but we don't actually have Hulu. So if it's Disney Hulu, then we'll probably
yeah,
get it. But if it's
yeah,
strictly Hulu, then we don't get it. So that's hard because I do see a lot
yeah.
of, like Gemma's very hooked on Girls Five Eva.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
See that one? It is
No.
super friggin' funny. About like a girl group that was really big at the time. Like they had one big hit, and now they're like older and married, and they're trying to get the band back together.
Oh.
Super funny. But like we were never able to get that. Now all of a sudden it's on Netflix.
Right.
So, buddy, what's the matter? You can't get comfortable. Okay.
Aw. Well, I'm glad we got to catch up today, and we have, who do we have next week?
Next week we have Katrina from the LGBTQ Coloring Book Company.
Oh, right. Yes, I'm looking forward to that.
Still trying to find a date for Kathy from Brighton Gin, because there's it's LGBTQ History Month here. So she's different engagements. But in the meantime, then we have the 80s TV ladies.
80s ladies.
I think that's the first week of March. So yeah, it'll be good. That'll be fun. We've got some good conversations to be had.
Yes, looking forward to it. Yes.
Excellent. Well, it was lovely to see you. Another shout out to the Gay SA folks.
Yes, thank you.
South Africa. Thank you for playing
Super
us.
proud.
I hope we've had fun on your Tuesday afternoon. What better thing you do it on a Tuesday afternoon but listening to the chicks talking? Yeah. All right, listen, I will see you next week for sure.
Sounds good.
All right. Bye.
Why do you always run back to the lover you once knew? You're addicted to her touch.
Like never stop chasing your dreams.
And I confess,
See?
my addiction is you.
We drank way too
Don't
much
ask me
whiskey.
why I'm here tonight. I had to take this midnight drive to find you. And as I come in through the door, I see her dancing on the floor beside you. Why do you always run back to the lover you once knew? You're addicted to her touch, that's true. And I confess, my addiction is you. You look at me and in my eyes you see the hurt I can't disguise. I watch you, and though it seems I look right through, I'm noticing your every move. She's got you. Why do you always run back to the lover you once knew? You're addicted to her touch, that's true. And I confess, my addiction is you. You're my addiction. Why do you always run back to the lover you once knew? You're addicted to her touch, that's true. And I confess, my addiction is you. I turn away to mask the pain, but jealousy reveals my rage and madness. And knowing you can read my mind consumes me in a shameful kind of sadness. Why do you always run back to the lover you once knew? You're addicted to her touch, that's true. touch.